everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is about maternity planning. Why have I decided to do this topic is because many of my friends have getting married and I see many of them having a kid. And then this is just some infographic for you guys to think about before you guys start planning for a child. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so I will interchange between the slides and some websites for you guys to reference to. Okay, so this is planning for a child and maternity planning insurance edition. Okay, so this is purely for educational purpose and is probably accurate at the time of posting. And then I don't know if after that changes are made, then I cannot say for sure. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at how the child planning timeline is normally like. Okay, so usually before you get pregnant, you need to check certain items and buy certain items before you get pregnant. And during pregnancy, you need to also buy certain items. And then right after your child is born and then they hit 14 days of age, there are also things to buy. Okay, there are also other optional stuff that you want to consider, but this one is only if you do not have any investment knowledge, don't know how to manage your money, want someone to help you manage your money, then or you are super duper rich, want to leave something for your kid or whatever. So these are other optional stuff to consider if you want to do more for your child. Okay? Okay, so firstly, for mother, before you actually get pregnant, please check whether you have a private hospital integrated shield plan that is in force for at least 10 months. Why 10 months? Is because 10 months is the waiting period before you can enjoy this coverage with integrated shield plans. Okay, so things like pregnancy complications and congenital abnormalities of your insured biological child. Okay, so for these two coverage, right, it's not available to all insurers. So later I will show you guys the list from MOH website. Okay, so some insurers have like pregnancy complications with as charged and some with limits. Like, so the reason why I say private, right, is like because I mean, having a child is a very like a very important thing in your life, like you don't want anything to go wrong with it. So please get the best coverage. And then I think, if I'm not wrong, less than private hospital shield plans might not actually cover so much. Yeah. Okay, so pregnancy complications, some insurers with as charged, some with limits. Okay, then congenital abnormalities, not all insurers cover this. Okay, so in case you didn't know what is congenital abnormalities, it means like once your child is born, already have an issue. So can be things like the balls, I mean, if it's a guy, then the balls did not drop down normally, like how the guy's private part, the balls will drop down. Yeah, so these are examples of congenital abnormalities. Can be other things like a heart valve did not form properly, then causing the blood flow to not flow normally like other people, because there's a heart valve, there's a separator in between your heart that separates the oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood. Okay, so yeah, all these things are congenital abnormalities. Once they are born, they already have all these problems, so congen. Okay, then for mother, please make sure you get your own death, TPD and CI plan. So all these are lump sum plan that pays a lump sum upon diagnosis of all this, because you are now a mother, you are responsible for another life really. Please get all these things settled before you actually get pregnant. Okay, because I've heard a lot of stories of people, moms getting postnatal depression and then a lot of other kind of mental illness or whatever, or the body goes haywire after the pregnancy. All these things you cannot actually anticipate in advance. So all these things will actually cause you to be uninsurable. So better get all these things before your pregnancy. Okay. Then lastly, you do a check whether your company actually provides for maternity plans. Okay, so for those like normal delivery, right, your shield plan does not actually cover this, because it's only cover like got problem then it cover lah. Then if no problem, just a normal delivery, your shield plans do not cover. There is no private plan that actually really covers it, if I'm not wrong. And also only thing that covers it will be company benefits lah. So company benefits is quite rare, because they buy the maternity plan, then they expect some of their staff to go on maternity, then they help to cover for the normal delivery charges. So not many companies actually buy maternity plans for their staff. Okay, so if your company have maternity plans, they will cover the normal delivery fees. Please check which ward they cover until, and then like if they only cover government ward, then you can only go government ward to deliver your child lah. Yeah. Okay, so in addition to pregnancy complications from your hospital shield plan, your company maternity plans will also cover any pregnancy complications. Your hospital company H&S will also cover. So if there's any co-payment or like deductible, right, they can help to cover as well. Okay. So let's move on to just now I wanted to share like the list of private shield plan insurers. Okay, so if you Google comparison of integrated shield plans, you'll go to this MOH website. So this is compiled by MOH, not compiled by me. Okay, basically you click into this private hospital plans, comparison of private hospital IPs. Okay, you can see the whole list. So basically how you check on the pregnancy complications and the congenital abnormalities, you just Control F lah, pregnancy complications. Okay, so pregnancy complication, you can see it after 10 months waiting period like I mentioned. And for selected conditions only, this one you need to check with your individual insurer. So you can see most of them cover as charged, yeah, except for income. So that's why income shield plan might be actually income shield plan P might be actually cheaper than the rest. So sometimes you really get what you paid for lah. So please check which plan you're under, and then make sure you get the as charged one lah. I mean, who knows, pregnancy complications can add up to how much, right? Okay, then congenital abnormalities of the insured's biological child, you can see here. Okay, what's the difference between insured and insured biological child is insured is yourself lah. Once you buy this shield plan, they will cover you for if you have congenital abnormalities, but some of them have waiting period, some of them don't have. Okay, so this one it's not part of today's topic. We will talk about this one. This one only biological child. Okay, so biological child also need 10 months waiting period. That's why I tell you must buy your shield plan 10 months before you get pregnant. Okay, so it will cover for your child if there are any congenital abnormalities, need to do surgery or whatever. Cover $5,000 per child, and then $20,000 per lifetime. You may think why not any AIA lah. So you can see AIA, GE and Prudential, the rest don't cover. Okay, so why do you need to get this extra coverage? Is because, right, if your child really born with congenital abnormalities, no insurer is gonna let you buy a integrated shield plan for your child really. So best you can get is any medical fees you need to pay yourself, or else you need to rely on your shield plan to pay for this kind of like congenital abnormalities. Yeah. Okay, so back to the slides. Like I mentioned, your company maternity plans will cover the normal delivery fees if they have, and then don't like think that this is a small amount lah. Normal delivery fees, if you're going to private, right, can cost upwards of 10k, and then public hospital will be around 4 to 5k if I'm not wrong. Okay, so yeah, so other than mother need to get protection, father also need to get protection before getting pregnant lah, because if you have zero insurance now, at least get the full coverage, because you need to be responsible for a family now. Now you're not only responsible for yourself, you're responsible for the little one in your wife's stomach. Okay, so before they get pregnant, you need to buy death and TPD coverage, 10 times of your annual income, and CI coverage, 3 to 5 times of your annual income. And shield plan, I would recommend you at least get a government A class one. And then it's like you have so much more financial responsibility now, and usually as a father you are the main breadwinner of the family. So please ensure that you fulfill the minimum responsibilities to your family to ensure they have your kid does not live a financially unstable life, like in case of any unfortunate events happening to you or anything, you know. Yeah, so I mean, I think recently there was some news a few months ago about pregnant wife left behind by husband who passed on during an accident. So all these things are, you know, no one knows when these kind of things can happen. So please make sure you do your family planning well lah. Okay, make sure your family is well covered if you are not around. Okay, so you don't want to leave them like having a shitty life, and then like every time your child asks, oh, why your family so poor? No, you don't want that, right? Yeah. Okay, so during pregnancy for mother need to buy a maternity plan to cover for pregnancy complications. Okay, so if no complication, this plan will not pay out lah. So no complication is a good thing, but I mean this plan is just a very small premium amount, so it's a cover for pregnancy complications or any hospitalization related to the pregnancy. Okay, so need to check the list of conditions from individual insurers. Not all insurers cover the same thing, and then usually you can buy from the 13 weeks onwards. Okay, so many insurers actually sell this lah. So usually the sum assured is not very high. It will be 5,000, 10,000, that kind of thing. Okay, then usually the policy term for this maternity plan will be about 3 years or 4 years, depending on which insurer you go with. And then some insurer allow 1 child only, some insurer allow 2 child maximum, some allow more than 2 child. So you need to check all these terms and conditions lah. Okay, then if you actually did assisted pregnancy, some insurers have loading, some insurers don't have loading as well. And then some insurers offer this as a standalone plan, means you cannot add to a life plan, means that you must buy just a single plan like that. And then most of them actually offer you to buy together with a life plan. Yes, your kid in your stomach, I mean not stomach, in your womb for 13 weeks already, you already can start to buy already. Okay, why I recommend buying as early as 13 weeks, right, is because after 13 weeks, after that maybe 20 weeks or 30 weeks or something, the doctor finds something, right, you cannot buy already. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I would recommend you to buy those coupled with a life plan one. Why? Is because usually this coupled with a life plan, right, means you can transfer to your child, or next time you can buy a new life plan for your child when they are born lah. So all this is without evidence of insurability. Please make sure to check your T&Cs with your insurer whether it's without evidence of insurability, because this makes sure that your child have a guaranteed coverage once they are born. Okay, so when you buy for the child before they are born, this coverage is cheaper, and also they get, like I mentioned, you get guaranteed coverage even if the child is born with abnormalities or illnesses. So it's like providing a peace of mind for you and your family lah. Okay, so even if the kid is like born healthily, right, there's nothing wrong with having a life plan. So they can keep the life plan throughout their lifetime into adulthood, and then next time when they reach 60 years old or something, then they want to have cash value, they want to take out the plan, I mean if it's an emergency, they can always get this cash value. So it also acts as a gift for them. Okay, then and with life plans, right, you don't need to pay for the entire lifetime. Usually it's a limited premium payments, meaning maybe you pay for 10 years, right, then the plan lasts for the child's whole life. So what you are passing to the kid when the kid is 20 plus years old, right, is not a liability, it's really a gift. Okay, so yeah, don't need to take over any liabilities, and then a head start in protection compared to their peers. So by the time you compare the premiums of a 1 year old or 0 years old compared to a 20 years old, the premium difference is a lot. Okay, yeah. Then some insurers also allow you to buy, like I mentioned lah, so it's either you buy couple your life plan that you transfer to the child, or some insurers just allow you to buy a new life plan on the kid without evidence of insurability. Please check this. This is very important, because in case anything comes out, I mean when the kid comes out, anything happens, you need this without evidence of insurability. Okay, so some if they allow you to buy a new life plan, usually they will say the mother must be alive or whatever. Please read all these terms and conditions carefully before buying the plan. Okay, next, like once the child is born. So once the child is born, you cannot buy any plans here. You can only wait until day 14, then you can buy plans. So day 14 is like a benchmark for insurers to say, oh, your kid is now, I don't know, like alive, and then you can buy plans for them, something like that. Okay, so basically, first thing you need to do, if you bought a life plan or you bought a maternity plan that allows you to buy another life plan, please settle your life plan transfer immediately, transfer to the child immediately, buy a new life plan for the child. So depending on which insurer you go with lah. Okay, then number one thing to buy, right, please buy the individual shield plan for child. Okay, so buy on day 14, don't buy later, you can't buy earlier, so don't buy later. The reason why is because after that, like some illnesses are not checked in 2 weeks, first 2 weeks when the child is born, the illnesses are not discovered. Then the illnesses are discovered later, and then if you did not buy on day 14, you will really regret it, because there's a lot of like conditions that a child can have. Like sometimes they never find out at the start lah, but all these things after that 14 days later then they find out. So once you buy a shield plan, right, most of the conditions don't have a waiting period, so you need to go and that's why it's always important to buy on day 14. And also kids are likely to fall sick easily and require immediate medical attention. I believe you see a lot of news, right, like kids are requiring a lot of fundraising because they got some like rare don't know what disease or whatever. There's a lot of these kind of things going around. So if it's not discovered before day 14, please buy on day 14. Okay, so if day 14 already all these things discovered, I'm sorry to say you are unable to buy a shield plan for a child anymore. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying like don't go for so many checkup, but try to keep to the basic checkup before day 14. After day 14, then you go for comprehensive checkup. Okay, so if really cannot delay, then no choice, can go before day 14, but would not recommend. Okay. Next, buy accident plan for your child, because they are in this exploration state. When you're a kid, you always fall down from window, fall down from bicycle, or like swallow a coin or whatever. So all these things, right, is very easy to happen during this childhood exploration state. So more accidents happening in childhood stage than adult stage. So accident plans are actually very important for kids. And then usually some accident plans for kids even cover some illnesses. So might be good to really get this for them to cover part of your all these expenses. Okay. Yeah, so lastly we come to this optional consideration. So when your kid needs to go to university, you need to come up with a huge sum of money to pay for their university. I mean, depending on whether you want to actually pay for your child's education, because some people say no, my child should own self pay for their education. So it's up to you. So it's an optional consideration. So education planning for girls will be 18 years old, and then 18 years from now, and then for boys will be 20 years from now because of NS. Okay, so depending on your risk appetite, and really if you know how to invest, just ignore this part because you already invested for them. So if you do not invest and then you want someone to help you with it, then choose between an endowment plan or investment linked plan depending on your risk appetite. So if you freaking scared of investments, go for endowment. Would not recommend, but yeah, okay. Then so if you are very rich and then you want to leave a lot of money for your kid, then you can buy those kind of like single premium policies, right? So how it works, right, you pay a single premium and they give you an income for life. So your kid, right, wow, every year get a lot of money from this insurance plan. Okay, so it's not really an insurance plan, it's called an endowment plan lah. So basically it's give you income for life, that kind of plan. Okay, so they can use it to actually, when they reach 20 years old, after they graduate from uni, they don't need to go to the normal working life. They can start a business, whatever, take some time to travel and embark on a non-stop before they start embarking on their non-stop working life till retirement lah. Okay, so this is depending on what you plan for your child, and then how much you love your child and how much money you have. Yeah. Okay, that's all for today. So yeah, when you or a loved one is in sickness or pain, right, the last thing you want to worry about is finances. So I'm here to help make your life easier. Okay, so if you need if you have any questions or anything, feel free to drop me a DM. If you have questions, you can leave it in the comments down below, but I can't answer every question publicly, so best is to drop me a DM. If your comment go unanswered, it means I can't answer the question. Okay. Yeah, so when I say that I can't answer the question, it's because of some compliance issue. It's not that I don't know how to answer your question. Okay, so that's why I asked you to DM me. Okay, so yeah, so that's all for today. I hope you guys have a smooth pregnancy and delivery and happy family planning. Yeah, okay, happy Saturday. Okay, thank you everyone. Please help to like and subscribe. Bye bye.